Sick.
Great. And hello, welcome back to another episode of Primetime Live. As always, I'm Shay, joined by Jaden. We got a lot of big recruiting news to talk about today. We'll get into it all. But Jaden, first, how's your day going?
It's going well. I got no complaints. Had a great weekend. Summer is great. I love the summer. Excited to get back to Miami though. And that's part of what we're talking about with recruiting. Big recruiting weekend, as we all know, with Derek Cooper and his stuff. But hey Shay, right before we get into it, I think we got a bit of a surprise here, right?
Yep, we got a brand new member of the team who's just joined. If you'd like to welcome, let me switch to that. So welcome to the team. If you want to introduce yourself, tell us about yourself and what you're going to be doing here with on Voice of College Football.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm Alan Edward. I'm pretty sure a lot of people from the Miami fan base would remember who I am back in 2014 when I was actually committed to University of Miami. I'm here to join the team, and I'm a diehard U fan, and I can't wait to get to work with you guys, man. Now I'm podcasting with Jaden and Shay, and we're gonna keep deep diving with Miami.
Yeah, and so
what shows are you gonna be doing on the Voice of College Football?
Oh, I'll be doing the post games after, and we're launching a Tuesday every week, Tuesday night show. That I'm also looking forward to, and I'm excited, man, to get this thing rolling.
Quick question. Excited to have you on it as well, obviously. So what's your take so far on this Miami offseason? What are you looking at? What things are you excited for?
Man, it's a lot for sure. We got, obviously the trigger man that got to be replaced. Cam Ward. He put up some numbers and he did some great things that Miami quarterbacks haven't done in a while. I mean, obviously we had a couple of quarterbacks like Ja'Cory Harris, Stephen Morris, and then we had Brad Kaya. And then after Brad Kaya, we had a couple of guys, but we just never had that guy to take that step that Cam Ward did. And man, now we got Carson Beck, right? So now Cam Ward set that standard high, so we expected Carson to come in and do the same. And as far as the whole team, man, I want Miami, just to get back, just pick up from the, what they just left off in 2024 season. They had a high standard, and man, I just can't wait to see what they got going on this off season.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going on, but I think the big news everybody wants to talk about is the big miss for the Miami recruiting. Derek Cooper, 5-star running back from your own backyard. You miss out on him to Texas, who's taken a few other big recruits from the Miami area, like the South Florida area. I'm going to toss it to both you two. What do you think? What's your takes on it?
I'll go. I mean, I'm just thinking right away. As much as I want to, really hate a bash on Mario, because I know Mario was really into this guy. Miami had 9 official visits with Derek Cooper. Texas actually had none. This to me obviously looks like an NIL move. Obviously, congrats to the kid. Way to get his money. Way to, better his life. I respect it 1,000%. That's the way that college football is going. But obviously it sucks for Miami. This is a guy that's in Hollywood. You're right there. You've been recruiting for the last 2-3 years. This is a guy that you wanted for a very long time. You were top 3 with him the entire way. And for over the last couple of weeks, for that to kind of fall off and that turn into you actually turning into like the number 3 with Georgia and Texas, the SEC guys going at each other, it does sting. It absolutely stings. And I think it's kind of been the story of Miami's July recruiting class. Hasn't been what you want. I'll say that. They've gotten a couple nice guys, but they've missed out on a lot of big fishes that you would want them to get if you're trying to build that national stage of a program that that you want to be as Miami.
Oh yeah, for sure. As far as what you just said, I woke up this morning and I saw that too. I was like, damn, here's another one leaving the state. I mean, it's hard. Like I said, Jeremiah Smith should have never left Miami. Should have never left the state of Florida, period. But we know when NILs come, man, it's hard to battle, especially that's what college football has come to. And yeah, losing Cooper for sure, it's gonna hurt us. But I honestly think we should just start a pipeline ourselves. How other schools are coming to our state, taking our kids. So I guess we need to start doing the same thing. Start hitting Texas, start taking their kids that are like not going to UT. Because I'm here in Texas now, and trust me, football is amazing here, man. And obviously Miami for sure, Florida in general always be the best state to me in football. But man, what they say about Texas football is really true. It's big here, and they got some athletes, and we just got to start a pipeline too down here somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, gotta kind of agree. I gotta agree with both you two so far. I mean, it's just losing a guy in your backyard is like so huge, especially when you have a 5-star and you're kind of trying to constantly build up this program. Like losing a guy that big is it hurts, especially for when you look at what Texas has been doing. Another 5-star that I don't know how heavily mine was in the race, but the 5-star Dia Bell, the 5-star quarterback, also in the class of 2026, American heritage. It's like you lose guys like that, and you're like, okay, we got to start hitting back on Texas. I mean, it's just two of the biggest high school football like markets in terms of where you're getting a lot of talent from, and having Texas come in and poach guys consistently is just very rough. And you know, you gotta, I mean, shout out to Mike Jeezy here. That oil money, yeah, that
he ain't lying.
it
He's
does
right.
not
He's
hurt.
right.
It does not
He's
hurt.
not lying.
Yeah, like that's it feels like an NIL decision. And you know, Miami kind of I don't know necessarily what it looks like for Miami in terms of how much they could have offered the guy, but like you gotta start hitting back. You gotta start developing pipelines other places if people don't want to come here, while also trying to continue trying to lock down the people who are here. Jaden, we were talking about it prior to the show, but like, which route do you think is more effective for Miami to go?
I mean, right now, I think, I don't know, Alan, you made a really good point about trying to go to Texas, about trying to, poach guys from there. Honestly, though, I feel like right now you got to at least start with locking down your own state, trying to deflect Ohio State and Texas and Georgia from stealing your guys. I feel like if you lock in on South Florida, you build that you have kids in South Florida. All right, they're coming to Miami. You want to be able to lock that down. As much as I want them to go and recruit on a national scale, I feel like you have to start small within your own backyard of an awesome backyard, probably the best backyard you could have in South Florida. And if you build there, then you can kind of move forward and then head towards Texas and then, other places and then, do stuff like that. I think because we're in year 3, year 4 of Mario, I think as we progress towards more years of Mario, then we'll develop, more outside the state. But I think one of the biggest problems is that we've lost so many guys from our own state. We've lost Jeremiah Smith. We now lost Derek Cooper, Dia Bell. Every one of these guys, we just keep losing dudes from South Florida, and it's hurting us. And I think that's where we should look at first before heading elsewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that take. I really do. Again, Mario, he's good in the recruiting game, but we also, I know we had David Cooney left. He was part of the Miami staff of the recruiting. Now he's at A&M. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who's going to be the guy, to recruit those guys and keep them there. But Cooney, he did a great job trying to keep those guys there, and now he's gone. He's at A&M right now. So I think we got to find somebody who's really well connected in Miami to keep those guys too.
Yeah. I mean, just building connections in your own backyard is so important. And like just kind of hopping on it, the topic. It's like we were looking at the guy, the 2020 class 2025 of the top 20 guys. Miami only has one guy. They've only locked down one guy in the top of the top 20 coming out of Florida, in this most previous class. And then you take a look at the class of 2026 so far. Sorry, I got to double check it real fast.
And while you're looking it up, I want to say, Falconer, thank you for the 305. Welcome back. I know you're here again. Thank you. States do produce different positions because it's crazy that the way that recruiting is. Where look, our goal is to try to recruit in Florida, and it looks like we haven't done as good of a job as I'm sure Mario has wanted. And you can look at this July slate of recruits, and it hasn't been what Mario wants. I'm positive it hasn't. And I think it's kind of something that has been a problem. And I think that's something that they need to address, considering that when you hire Mario Cristobal, you come into it thinking this is a guy that's going to recruit. I'm not necessarily sure what he's going to, if he's not really much of a coach, but he's a recruiter. I know what I'm going to get him as a recruit. And for him to miss out on some of these guys, it's definitely a little disheartening.
Yeah, very much agree. Shout out to King Kyle over here. Hire Teddy Bridgewater. Good idea. Provided for the kids out there. He knows how to connect with the youth.
Yes.
Sure.
So maybe that's the route. But yeah, I think we kind of talk about it every week. I think so far through the first few shows, and it's like I think a lot of being able to lock down guys both inside the state and outside the state is building consistency. And I think when you take a look at the trajectory of both Miami and Texas, they've gone on very similar trajectories. Two historic programs, two very, legacy names in college football. But like throughout the last decade, they've had their ups and downs. You take a look at Texas before Sark got there, and they only had one double digit win season since before 09. Since 09, before Sark got there. And then you look at it year after year, he goes 5-7 to 8-5 to 12-2 to 13-3, and then a college football playoff berth. And then, you see kind of the progression of that program where they've gotten 23 5-stars between the classes of 2022 and 2026. So, I mean, we're seeing it a little bit with Miami where it's like Sark he's got a year head start over Mario in terms of like when they both got hired. But it's, it's about developing a growth over time, over year after year. And I think that's why the season's so huge for Miami. It's that proving that last season was not a fluke. It's not like, oh, we're back for the 1 year and, just because Cam Ward had a spectacular season. It's about proving that this coaching staff, this group under Mario Cristobal is going to build a long-term sustainable success. And, prove to recruits out inside the state and outside that, this is a program you can come to win football games, to get drafted, to play at a very high level year in, year out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Again, it's all on Mario, and we know how tough it is. And, I believe he can do it. Just a matter of how quick he can change it. Obviously, we know how, the fans get, when it comes to winning and losing, and they be ready to get people out of there. But I think Mario, as soon as he got in, man, he kept his word, and we are being patient with him, and I believe in him. So I believe Miami could get to that ceiling that we're talking about. But again, it's a matter of just keeping those recruits in the state of Florida, for sure.
Yeah. And if I think you're right, Shay, in the fact that I think it does start with winning. This season, the way that it happened with Cam Ward, it was such an awesome season that if we can continue to build on that and it can improve in these double-digit win seasons consistently, that's a program that people are going to want to come to. That's a program that people are going to want to see. I know Miami does have a lot of NFL over the last 25 years. In the last 10, it's not been a lot. And then since Mario's gotten here, it's been fine, but it hasn't been to the level that you would want. Look at Texas since Sark's been there. And they're guys that you're looking at and you're saying, wow, they're these guys that came to Texas. They have a ton of electric or elite players that are in the league right now. And you're asking Miami, if you can produce that, maybe you'll convince more people to come to Miami, or maybe you will have the ability to get these higher level players. And I think the more quick consistency of winning will allow that to happen over time, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And just another comment from Mike Jeezy here is that like that's what happens in the current day of NIL. It's not necessarily you can't bring guys in just based off of legacy. Miami can't hold the early 2000s over guys from Florida who aren't even born then and be like, come to this program because we have so much history. With the money involved now, it's like you can tradition gets thrown out to an extent where it's it's where can I win, where can I get money, and where can I set myself to get money during after college. So it's much more of a professional mindset now, where guys where you have to prove to guys that this is a program where you can be your best self and go make money here and make money during the pros.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I think development's the last aspect of it, but you're absolutely right. It's the money always comes first, and I mean, look, everyone knows that, and I think it's great that the players are getting that money. I do respect it. It's just not the same. The game is different. Yeah. It's a business at the end of the day. Right now, it's not what it used to be, and I think everyone's just got to adapt to it, and we got to work with it. And Miami misses out on Derek Cooper because Texas has unlimited money. Fine, you got to find a way to build around it. I mean, you can look at the entire state of Texas. You can look at the entire country right now with all these donors, where Michigan is going to pay $10 million to flip a guy to Michigan, or you can have Texas Tech with all their money and Texas with their money. Miami's got a great NIL pool, but it's not to the level of a Texas or a Texas Tech. And I think
Oregon with all the Nike money.
Exactly. So that's just the way the game is. And I think that we got to adapt to it. And I think that it's not like it's going to affect Miami to the point where we won't be able to hurt us. I mean, you can look at it from maybe a baseball standpoint in that the teams that spend all the money don't necessarily win all the time. So
that's true.
If you can still develop, and if you have great coaching, if you have great talent around you still, you can still put on a winning team. It doesn't have to be the highest, the most amount of money spent. Although last year happened with Ohio State. Texas is great again. Georgia is great again. But it doesn't necessarily have to be where you're the highest spending team that you then win a championship. It helps, but it isn't the end all be all.
Yep. Man, I agree with that take big time, Jada.
Yeah. Another Falconer. Thank you again for another donation. Yeah, I mean, I would think no income tax would help Miami, but
in hockey, it works really well in hockey.
Oh, definitely.
Big money.
But I mean, Texas also got no income tax. Am I right or am I wrong on that?
You're right. You're right.
So, like,
you're right. Yeah.
They can toss both things around. They got
they
some
just
money,
got different
and
money.
you're not going to get taxed on the income on that right there. And shout out to Falconer again. I also agree. I mean, yeah.
That's kind of that's obvious.
Yeah, that's an obvious take over there.
You ain't gonna
get anybody else complain about that take.
Cam Ward,
phenomenal
that he's not even being talked about.
Shador?
No, Cam. Like
nobody
really talking about him. Yeah, y'all don't find that funny. Like he's really like the first round draft pick, and he's not being talked about right now.
I think that's crazy. I think he's probably one of the least talked about first overall picks in like a minute.
And he's
I even think like
starting now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed. I Will Levis could have contended for that.
Hey,
you know what?
It's
wide open. The job's wide open for him. So you know what? There was totally QB competition going on.
Need him to ball out. I need him to ball out, represent the U accordingly.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna do it. I mean, Tennessee's in a rough shape, but like in terms of what they're building there. But I think individually, I think Cam's gonna put up some fun numbers. Be him, be flashy, make some crazy throws, and do what he does best in Tennessee. And I don't know if that's a Shador. Does he start this season? Probably, but I shout out to Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco or
Dylan Gabriel too.
Dylan Gabriel. Like I can't get excited about that room. Another. I mean, between George and Mike Jeezy here, SEC. Is another. I mean, we were talking about a little bit yesterday. I mean, a few weeks ago when we were talking about the lawsuit in Miami potentially moving conferences. But I think is conference realignment another thing for Miami to look at in terms of moving conferences to kind of get more access to money to spend.
Doesn't hurt if you move to the SEC. I'll tell you that.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't hurt for them to move. But do you really want Miami in SEC?
That is all. I mean, we saw what happened to Oklahoma moving to the SEC. It
I love Miami,
ugly very fast.
Exactly.
If you ain't really ready for it.
Like I feel like OU is going to be in that position. Like, you went to the SEC, but you guys going to have to play like some dogs every week.
Mm-hmm.
Can you survive that?
And then now even Vanderbilt's playing well, which is it's tough there.
You know what I'm saying? So I think Miami's just stay where they at.
I agree. I agree.
They could always be one and top 2 team in this conference, so they don't need to go anywhere.
You're gonna be fighting for it year in year out. At the current rate. I mean, I get occasionally. I think you're probably gonna see like SMU bump into conversations. Syracuse played pretty well, but like I think Miami is gonna. I think what they're trying to establish and what it's like trending towards is you're gonna be consistently fighting for that conference championship. With the team like Clemson probably, and they're like established program. So like, I know the money is enticing, but I much prefer winning here in the ACC.
Facts.
Yeah,
stay here.
Stay here. Do not leave.
Don't go nowhere else.
King Kyle, King Kyle, maybe a little bit. I think like maybe just a tiny bit. Not like I'm not like super scared.
Facts.
I'm not super scared, but like I gotta see this team continue to grow before and improve and make the college football playoff, and see them against other teams from around the country and like the biggest spots for me to be like, you know what, we ready to move to the SEC, play that schedule year in year out.
I mean, look, we look at our schedule every year and we see, we got UF on the schedule. We got to beat them. It's a big game for us.
Mm-hmm.
We got South Carolina next year. Big game for us. We move to SEC. Every game's a big game for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, every single game.
It's different than when you got Wake Forest on the schedule or when you got no disrespect to Wake Forest, but come on, the ACC it's not the SEC. It's not the Big Ten. But I mean, look.
I mean, speaking of big games, shout out Falconer again.
Yes, thank you for the
Oh, it's gonna
305.
be stupid down there.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be
It's gonna be
crazy.
dumb.
Like we were talking about people getting the Hard Rock last week. Big games like that, season opener, school, people just getting back from summer break in back in school. It's gonna be crazy.
I
I
think
think.
it'll be the biggest game probably since that 2017 game against Notre Dame. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be on that level. Sunday night, standalone game, 7:30. Come
Oh,
on.
Yeah,
Come
that's gonna
on.
be
that's
loud.
a big college football weekend too. They stacked that first week schedule.
Yeah,
Yep.
they
There's a
did.
few other
They did.
other big games that are like happening on the weekend, and like Miami to get that primetime solo game at the end of the night. That's
Yeah,
an honor, and it's gonna be crazy. Like
Yeah.
I think
I'm
it's gonna be
excited for it.
rocking, and I think it's gonna be rocking in Hard Rock like we haven't seen in a minute.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Do we want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
speaking
sure.
off of, losing Derek Cooper obviously sucks, but if you do look at Miami's running back group, from over the next few years and then to the future, I don't think it necessarily puts us in a deficit is what I would say. I thoroughly enjoy what Miami has to offer in the running back group, right, Shay?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. 100%. I think you got a good mix of guys coming back. A couple of interesting additions in that running back room. I mean, we know what Mark Fletcher can bring. He'll probably step into that first down back role. You bring Jordan Lyle, who was explosive in his limited touches last year. I think he had like the 7th most yards per carry for any guy over 50 carries. 404 yards, a few touchdowns. Guy can take the ball, go a mile with it. And then you bring in a proven guy, Marty Brown from FCS. You want to see him be able to make that jump, but another guy who can kind of sub in a little bit with Mark Fletcher gets tired, take the tough yards, fall forward a little bit. And then a couple of other interesting additions here and there, but I mean we'll get to it. I like what the status of the running back room. It's building off of a strong year. We got even though Damian Martinez leaves, you trust what Mark Fletcher can do. You trust what the other guys in this backfield can kind of come around to do together, and I think still should be solid.
Yeah, we should be solid at that position. But we also have to keep in mind, you can't keep all those guys happy, and you
Right.
should want to keep recruiting every single year because, again, you can't keep everybody happy. Somebody's going to enter the portal.
Yeah,
And you'll have to restack. But as of right now, looking at the roster for sure, I think we'll be fine.
yeah, absolutely. Jaden, Alan, who are your favorite parts of this backfield that you think?
Go ahead, Jay.
I'm big on. Well, look, I mean, like the obvious guy is Mark Fletcher. You're expecting a year 3 jump. That's a guy that you want. I mean, because I think even if Damian Martinez didn't come, I think Fletcher has an even better season than he did last year, and he had a pretty solid season. I actually really enjoyed the way the Miami kind of operated their running back room, as if they had Martinez for one drive, then Damian for another, and then sometimes they'll add a Lyle or even a AJ Allen. No AJ Allen this year, but you still have Lyle, you have Fletcher, and you have Jamar Brown. So I like where they're at, and I love specifically Fletcher just so how you don't want to face Mark Fletcher when he's going downhill, like when he's at 100% speed. That's a guy that's you don't want to see that. And if you have a big first down guy that's going to give you, he can give you 5 yards, can give you 7 yards, whatever you need. That's a guy that's going to give you that, and he's going to be even more important, more than ever this season, with in my opinion, a weaker receiver room, and a definitely weaker quarterback room. So you know that you're going to have to rely on the run a little bit more than you did last year, and a guy like Mark Fletcher will set the tone for a game.
Yeah, for sure. Mark will do that. And picking up back for what Jaden said, I mean, we got to replace X that just left. We got to replace Cam. And the next guy stepping up, man. I really want to see Ray Joseph, get in at the slot and do his thing. I'm excited about seeing him. Like out of all the Canes players, I'm looking for JoJo. Who's going to be the next X receiver? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be the next? Yeah, JoJo Trader too. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to be all right. But I'm just excited to see those young guys go to work because it felt like they've been sitting for a long time.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean,
I think they're ready to get it going.
Yeah,
you can see JoJo Trader pretty much until the bowl game really the first half of that bowl game when him and Cam seemed to click pretty easily. During that first half when Miami actually threw the ball. But but I think it's that's pretty much what we're expecting out of this entire young skill position group. It's development, growth, and can you take on bigger roles and bigger expectations? I mean, Miami's expecting Jordan Lyle to kind of be that change of pace running back. After he was very explosive, but when there's more expectations, when he might have to be like the pass catching scat back out of the backfield, can you handle those roads? Can you handle that role and with more pressure on you? And can these young receivers develop and kind of step into bigger roles? I think it's the biggest question of Miami's off season and their progression into this year, especially with that offense and new quarterback play, and everything's moving. So
yeah, I mean, like I mentioned it earlier, but the reliance on the run game is going to be even more important than it was last year. And last year it had importance when the receivers struggled in certain aspects, or when Cam and the offense couldn't get going. But the running back group needs to ball out. It needs to, and when you have an awesome offensive line like we do, you expect it to, but you need it to have consistently really good games where it's consistently running the ball for 150 yards at least. I would say you need to have that kind of benchmark in order for you guys to set the tone for a Carson Beck to make his life easier. And if you have a running back group that I think could even rival what Georgia had the last couple of years, you have that chance to kind of make life easier for Carson Beck. And it starts with Fletcher, and it starts with Lyle, and even Shamar Brown, who's going to get those, maybe the Jordan Lyle reps of last season or the AJ Allen reps of last season. And he's got time. He's I think he's entering his sophomore year, so he's got
he was FCS freshman of the year, which we'll take it in terms of Jordan.
Yeah, he's an amazing player. I know Miami's super high on him. I think that's a guy that can easily get some third string reps, but be a really important guy in that kind of piece. And I think when you add those three guys in the running back group, I can't see how it gets stopped when all three of them do something slightly different than each other, especially with Jordan Lyle on third down, Fletcher first and second down, and Shamar Brown when it needs to be done.
Yeah, kind of keeping on him because he's been a sleeper. I've seen kind of tossed around there in that backfield. What do you think the jump is like going from FCS to FBS football to a Power 4 program? Like, I mean, is that like a massive jump that we're gonna have to see in terms of toughness and competition for him?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be different now. Obviously, the gameplay will be a little bit faster for him. But I mean, even regardless, with now, like, kids are just leaving anywhere. Kids are from D1 are going FCS, so it's gonna balance out. I think it'll be the same for him. Again, he's just gonna have to get more tougher. He's gonna take a lot of hits now. You know what I'm saying? Consistent hits. So it's just about him just staying healthy. Honestly, if he can just stay healthy and just get up 10 toes and keep going, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think that's just a huge benefit of having a deep running back room where it's like,
Yeah.
you know what, guys are refreshed. We talked about the D-line room last week. It's like keeping guys refreshed, keeping guys healthy throughout the season and throughout a game is just so important. And having a deep running back room and being able to sub guys in and out for different situations as the game goes on. And when you need 4 yards and a first down to ice the clock, Mark Fletcher, he's well rested and he can come in and give you that crucial first down. When you need to ice the game and run down clock, I think it's just so important. I think Miami having a deep running back room, 2 guys we didn't even mention, maybe if a guy like Gerard Pringle gets some touches here and there with, quick one cut, change of base back. I saw a little bit of his highlights from the spring game. You do see it. It's there. Like the speed and the athleticism, if he can get like a lane, you kind of see some similar things like him and Jordan Lyle kind of fill a similar niche. And then, the other back who's going into is Chris Hellcat Wheatley Humphrey, another big, quick speed guy, just guys you can sub in and out, in that running back room. I wish Miami had one more power back because I think that would kind of make that, the ball control offense a little more consistent. But I think this running back room being as deep as it is, I think is a really solid spot for Miami where they want to be with this offense.
Yeah, there was a game I remember last season. It was against Louisville, and Miami they were going with these drives where they had one drive was specifically David Martinez. And I believe somewhere around the third quarter, maybe an early fourth quarter, they did an entire drive with AJ Allen. And they let AJ Allen go the entire drive. This is, the RB3 for Miami. And he goes 75 yards. And that was a drive entirely led by him and Cam Ward. That drive to me is what you want Miami to be able to do next season with Jordan Lyle, a guy that can easily, like, all right, I'm going to put Jordan Lyle in. He's going to give Mark Fletcher some time off, and I'm going to let him do his thing. I'm going to take Jordan Lyle off, let Shamar Brown do his thing. That's what I like about this running back group, is that you can let guys take off certain plays and let them be rejuvenated or energized as the game gets later on, so that they're not gassed as we get to the end of the game.
Yeah. The more backs, better it is. And This is also good too. I mean, when you have different type of backs like that, this is where the offensive coordinator have to get creative, which he is. You know what I'm saying? So now here's where you got to add more RPOs to your game. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And you got backs, multiple backs like that that can do different things. I mean, they get creative with your offense,
And that was a team
and
that
that's what we
loved
saw
the
last year.
RPOs last season. Miami was huge with the RPOs last season. I know it
Hmm.
was with Cam, but I imagine Carson Beck will be involved with them a lot as well. Which is what you're relying on Shannon Dawson to be really creative, which he was super creative last season with Cam. He gives that same trust to Carson Beck. I think the offense can be still explosive. It can still do what we need it to do as we get as we face a tough schedule. Notre Dame week 1, 5 weeks away, 6 weeks away. So
Mhm.
it's a big game that they gotta you're able to kind of see how the running back group looks right away against an elite team like Notre Dame.
Yep. Yeah. Another thank you to Falconer. No progress on those helicopter rides. Well, we're gonna keep pounding the table over here, but it might be a long way down the line.
No,
So,
I
but
don't think it's gonna be happening anytime soon. Let me say that.
those shuttle buses, it's kind of like getting guys the games. It's the
yeah,
only way. It's
the
really
only
the only
way.
way for us students. You know what? I love to pay for a helicopter. Try that out for one time, but
Man, for sure.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah, put a landing pad on top of Hard Rock.
Yeah, laid it right in the middle of the field. I just wanted George fighting for his life over here about fighting for DJ Lagway. I just thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun little combo.
Look,
I
yeah.
don't know if this is true,
No.
but
Look, he got potential, but yeah, he still gotta show me he can pass. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He's good though. Don't get me wrong.
very
I'm not.
fair. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah,
I mean, I think everybody thinks he got a lot of potential. I think
he
when
for
you
sure
look at
do.
him, like Lenore Sellers over in South Carolina, where it's like, I see I see. There's something there. I just got to see it be put all together.
Yeah.
So, in terms of Miami v. Florida QB situations, I know Carson Beck didn't have a great last year, but look, a little bit. If you want a pocket passer, refined, come over to Miami. We do have to see he's healthy. That's the one thing.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of ceiling, I might give you Lagway on that, but
yeah. Right now, nah, you gotta go with Beck, man. You gotta go with Beck.
Falconer telling us the truth. Hard Rock does have a helipad. Oh,
yeah, but
I think they do.
How are you gonna
they do.
how you gonna get people to you're gonna tell the school to invest in a helicopter system that can get people to games? How many people can fit in a helicopter that can efficiently get people to games? Come on.
Oh yeah.
Let's be practical here.
I mean, they're gonna have to pay a fortune to do that. Then, right?
Hey, look.
Let's talk practical. Practical.
Look, we got pretty rich people who go here. Somebody's gonna pay for the helicopter.
True.
You're right. You're right.
True.
Oh, apparently, University of Florida got someone to land a helicopter. Everybody's got helipads.
No.
Yo, maybe this is the way.
Thank you for the
305. I know for sure. I know for sure we do, because when Travis Scott he performed at that they do every year, he ended up going down there too, like on a helicopter. He came down. So
damn.
I forgot what it's called. What's that thing called?
We're right next to Opelika Airport. We're right next to everywhere. So I mean, look, I'm not doubting that we can get a helicopter. Is it feasible? Is it practical? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
That's different though. That's different. Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh, you know what? Sorry,
next fall.
I'm harping on this, but
next fall, Falconer.
Next fall, somebody's got to have a helicopter available.
She's 2026.
Oh, never mind then. Sorry, different year. Sorry, Falconer. Helicopters in the future. Not right now.
Yeah.
Kind of switching from one group to another. We're gonna go switch to the defensive side of the ball as we preview the linebacker group. A few different guys returning, a few different guys we added. Kind of Miami got a little bit of both ways between the guys they have returning and guys who might fit Corey Hedman's system, guys who might not. Jaden, Allen, what do we really see from that group there?
I mean, I'll start with. I would say I want to go. We can mention the returning guys. We got Popo Aguirre and we have Wesley Bethea having one more year is awesome. I thought he was awesome last season. Probably going to be, in my opinion, the team, one of the team captains defensively. I thought he was tremendous last season. Explosive, hard hitting linebacker, second on the team in tackles, 5 tackles for losses, 2 sacks, and a pick. And then the year before, when he started 10 games, he had 2 sacks, 44 tackles. I think he's going to be the leader of that linebacker group with Corey Heatherman. I got no reason to believe that he's not going to have another amazing year. But one of the things that I saw, I was doing some research on the transfer guys, 7th-year senior linebacker Mohamed Toure. Now, this guy, he's like a true adversity guy. Tore his ACL in 2022 and 2024. Entering 2024 season at Rutgers, he was on the Buckus Award watch list for the best linebacker in the country. He played in 2022 and 2023 with Corey Heatherman. Heatherman was the Rutgers linebacker coach. And in that season, Torrey posted his best career numbers, 93 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, and an honorable mention at all Big Ten player. And he was a team captain. 2023, comeback player of the year semifinalist. That's a guy I want a part of the Corey Heatherman system. If he can stay healthy, I know his knees are a big problem. He deteriorated still twice. But if he can stay healthy, I think that's a guy that Miami should really, really, really be watching. I think he could be a tremendous player in addition to that team.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Our focus is going to be on the defense. My guy is going to be Keontae Scott. I follow JUCO football a lot because I went JUCO. Keontae Scott, man, I believe he's coming from Auburn. He's a DB. I believe he's going to be an addition to the defense. But the matter of where he's going to play, I believe he's going to play nickel. And man, a kid, he can bring it and he's fast. And he's a good man-to-man corner. Keontae Scott, he played at Snow College up in Utah. But I believe he's going to come in and make a difference and take charge of that defense too. Besides,
we were talking about him. We talked about him last year. A guy who, similarly to what we talked about, Torre playing with Heatherman when he was at Rutgers. Keontae Scott played with Zach Etheridge, one of the DB coaches, and having guys who are familiar in a system who played their best ball under your coaches is you're gonna get the best out of those guys because they know how they operate, they know their mentality and how to coach them properly. And I think that's just so important when you bring guys in from the transfer portal, having connections to guys on your coaching staff where how you're going to get the best out of these players. I mean, Keontae Scott, a guy who, is really good in that nickel spot, struggled a little bit last year when he had to play on the boundary for Auburn. But I think if you could have him rotate that nickel spot right there, Torrey, have him play big snaps, hopefully stay healthy. A lot of guys in this linebacker room that you could possibly look at. And, as a result of that, have the coaching staff of Miami's defense here that get the best out of these guys who are coming in. I think to agree with you, Jaden. I think Basainth, really good guy to look at. I mean, if we look at the linebacking room, Kiki Mauinoa, really solid player, but I think where you're gonna have to see these linebackers be very improved is that since Miami is playing smaller with a likely 4-2-5 under Heatherman. You're going to be asking a lot more of physicality from your linebackers and being able to fill the holes in the gaps. And then also you might ask a little bit more out of them in coverage too, to a degree, not as much because, you have that extra safety in the box there. But I mean, we saw a little bit at times last year where, I mean, thinking about the Georgia Tech game where it's 3rd and 7, Haynes King is in the game with a broken shoulder. And then Kiki Mauinoa gets crisscrossed by the tight end open middle of the field. Huge play to keep Miami off the field right there. One of the critical plays. And I think getting more of this linebacker room in coverage, against the run is going to be very important overall.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Kiki Mauinoa moments you can look at. I loved him as a player, especially 2023. He was a little rough 2024, and there are a couple moments you can look at where he was, matched up one-on-one with a running back or a tight end. And because of he just wasn't fast enough to beat him. He got beat quite a bit. And you're hoping that the linebacker group can probably be a little bit different in that. If you can have Basaint play drop coverage or play man-to-man on a run back or tight end, that he can do his job. I expect him to have another amazing season. I thought he was so awesome last season. I remember the Cal game. I know he almost cost us that play on the controversial play. But it was still an amazing play by him, and I think he's an amazing player, and I expect him to do big things for us again.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to talk about a bunch of this offseason continues, but when with the offense potentially needing some time to catch up in terms of guys knowing where they got to be and guys getting adjusted to bigger roles, having this defense between all three levels of the defense, between the D-line, the linebackers, and the secondary, having them be able to play their best football under Corey Heatherman and under this new scheme. And between these coaches that they may or may not have some familiarity with. We mentioned Keontae Scott. We mentioned, Torre having familiarity with Corey Heatherman. Whether those guys play their best ball because they're coached well, or they can help other guys come along through the system by understanding what these guys are talking about in terms of the terminology and different ideas and concepts that this new defense wants to install. I think are going to be huge, and between this new coach, between the refreshed coaching staff and this influx of talent, between the secondary and all three levels, really, I think this defense is going to need to be strong early on in the season when Miami's offense is starting to catch up. And I think between all three levels, I think you're going to get a much improved defense.
Yeah, for sure. And they attacked the transfer portal with a lot of defensive players too. And I've seen a lot of DBs and a lot of edge rushers. So I think it's going to be good for Miami. It's just a matter of them coming together during this fall camp and just putting it all together. And basically, you're like Nick Saban said, when one player come out, the next player that's going in has to play just like the first player coming out. So I think once Miami gets to that point, which they already are, I think we'll be fine on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
definitely think the talent's there. And I think what you've seen from Heatherman in his career is that the coaching's definitely there to kind of uplift the defense, establish a defensive culture, and kind of get guys where they need to be. Even simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Guys just knowing where they got to be and not getting cute on defense like Miami got.
Last season, we were talking about that last week, where I felt like they were missing too many assignments. It felt like they were kind of lost. It looked like they had Lance Guidry had no idea what he was doing at that time.
For sure.
It felt like there were times I'm looking at this defense, and you're saying none of them's communicating with each other. None of them are playing in the right position. None of them know what they're doing. No, Mario had to use a lot of timeouts in the second quarter because on a not on like a 2-minute drill, or even in sometimes in the third or the early in the fourth, because guys weren't really knowing what they weren't communicating properly. They didn't know where they were going. They didn't know what they were doing. I remember a specific Duke play where Duke's in the red zone and Duke is pushing, and the guys are looking at Guidry on the sideline and they're lost and they're confused. And then Duke throws an easy touchdown right in the middle of the field. No one's covering the guy, and it felt like that was a kind of a theme all season long. Again, I think we talked about this, that if you put this year's defense with last year's offense, this is a team that wins at least one college football playoff game. Not even what happened last season where we lose to Syracuse and Georgia Tech and then get bounced.
Yeah, that sucked. I don't know about y'all, but that hurt big time. I was like, just because we lose the Qs, we got to be out. Like, I don't know, man. I was hurt by that, man, and I'm pretty sure they were too. But,
yeah, I mean, especially with the way you start that game up, 21-0?
21-0.
You think at that point the offense gets a little bit more conservative. You run the ball, and you think your defense. I built up that big of a lead. They're not going to let it down. And then, I saw it. I was like scrolling Instagram, and then the ACC network feels like they have to post. Remember when Syracuse pulled off this big comeback against Miami?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need to remember it. I don't feel like remembering it right now.
Syracuse came back in a quarter. Quarter, they came back. They had a 21-0 lead in the end of the first quarter. At halftime, it was 21-all. That's a problem. Let's be real here. That's a major problem that you expect under Heatherman to be fixed and to just not happen. You don't expect Miami to be playing in shootouts like the Louisville game last season. You're hopefully expect to be playing some more ground and pound games, or where you guys are the dominant team, where you're controlling the ball more, similar to, I guess, if we were on the opposite side of the Georgia Tech game last season, where Georgia Tech controlled the ball, where they ran all over us for over 200 yards, and they played solid enough defense to slow down Cam Ward. If Miami does something similar to like that all season long, I think Miami can easily be a 10, 11, 12 win team that, maybe has one loss to like a Notre Dame or a Florida or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely agree. We're going to keep on harping on it throughout this entire offseason, but this defense is but if just getting to a tolerable level, I think would be a much needed improvement. And it's just mainly about keeping teams from scoring quick. I think the rate and the consistent amount of explosive plays this defense let up last year is why Syracuse was able to come back in a quarter. And between you were just talking about the missed assignments, guys not knowing where to be, that stuff is just frustrating when you're watching as a fan. watching guys not know what to do and guys open one place or another is just the most frustrating thing. And not it's a lot. I mean, I played high school football, so I know. No, but when communication is so key on on the defense, especially when you're making adjustments on the fly when you see something is so important. I think Heatherman bringing in should get some consistency here with the communication, with the guys knowing when to be, guys being in the right position, all that type of stuff. I think it's a upward trajectory for this defense 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
One thing we can look at, I mean, I remember we were talking about the linebackers. I think it's honestly a more underrated group that we have because of how deep, I think it's super deep that we have, kind of group that we have. Because you only lost Kiko, you get Aguirre, who had he played all 10 games, only started one. I thought he played some consistent football towards the end of the season, and he's expected to be the starter. You have a guy like that. We talked about Basaint. We talked about Mohamed Toure, but you also have a redshirt sophomore in Kamal Bonner from NC State. In his redshirt season, his redshirt freshman season, he started 7 games, and then as he played later on in the season, he got better, and he was pretty good at stopping the run and putting pressure on the quarterback. He's added weight to himself so he could be even better as he, in terms of rushing the passer, again, making tackles, making plays. That's another guy that you have. You have Cam Pruitt, who's a sophomore, Darius Hayes, who's a sophomore, assuming that he is healthy. Redshirt senior Jalen Alderman. He's got one more season. These are guys. This is a pretty deep group, and then even the incoming freshmen that you have, maybe not expecting them to play, but you have a group of guys that you're expecting as we talk about for the years to come. This linebacker group can be deep. You have Kevin Wiley, the 4-star linebacker from Sefner. He's a dog. He's a straight up dog. He's got crazy athletic measures, crazy jumper. He's great at blitzing, can handle drop coverage. He's a fantastic player. And then you even have Ezekiel Marcellin Jr. from Miami Central. These are more incoming freshmen that you have. You have guys in the 2026 class. This is a deep group that I'm expecting Miami for years to come to continue to produce. And with Corey Heatherman in charge instead of someone else, you would anticipate this linebacker group to be a key part of the 4-2-5 defense.
It's gonna be exciting to see what they got to do.
Yep, 100%. I think between all the change on the defense, I think it's the most excited. I think when you look at the offense, a lot of change as well, but I think it's more just like we're a little bit nervous to see what it will look like and what the offense will be. But I think in terms of just being excited, looking at this defense, looking at all the change that's happening for the better, it's like it's very easy to get excited about this defense. Cliche saying, defense wins championships. I think proven year in, year out, honestly, that the best you can play phenomenal defense and keep the game low scoring, pound the rock, sound like an old man, but it's how if you can win games like that, you can win any game, really. I think if you can win games through your defense, as long as your offense is capable, and I think you can win any game, upset anybody, especially week 1 when Miami might be the underdog of that game against Notre Dame. But if you keep low scoring, keep time possession running, you could draw out that game, keep yourself in the game, and then bam, you have a lead at the end of the fourth quarter. That's all you care about. So yeah.
And it's pretty much, to be honest, even on defense, it's easier to have chemistry with defense because all you got to do is just play your zone and your coverage. Whereas the offense, you have to, figure out the timing, all the chemistry. That's where you have to build the chemistry in the offense to know, like Carson Beck have to know how Ray run this route or how Joe run this route. So that's where the offseason I'm really going to be focused on the opposite side too. But yeah, for sure, the defense, they're going to be fine. They just got to play their zones and, get the signals that they need to get when it's crunch time and not look confused and, cause a touchdown. So
yeah, it's rare when you have a time where you're thinking like, wow, I'm very excited to see what this defense can do because of how bad they were last season. That's kind of rare because most of the time you're always seeing, oh, we have a new quarterback in charge. Let's see how he does. You're maybe a little more nervous, maybe instead of like excited. But with the defense, you're knowing coming into it that this defense is going to be at least a slightly better offense than they were, or defense than they were last season. So you already know coming into the season that it's going to be better. That already gives you excitement. Like, oh, if this defense is better and then this offense is only slightly worse, we can go anywhere. Like we can do whatever we think we can. We can reach whatever expectations that we have. And I think that's a really cool spot to be in for Miami. And Shay, you were talking about it with the time management. It's cool that you have a team that if you have the lead in like early fourth quarter, and that defense is humming and the offensive line is humming, this team has a super high chance of winning, all things considered, because they can just control the game to their ability.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and it helps. I mean, we talked about it. There's a bunch of guys in this linebacker room. I mean, just looking at how that room is filled with a bunch of dudes, like guys who can come in and play, guys who can, take smaller roles, bunch of different guys who can come in and play a variety of roles. And like what we said a million times already is that keeping guys fresh throughout a season and throughout a game is so important. And like, so guys aren't worn down when a team like Georgia Tech has run the ball 60 times through the game.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, God, my linebackers are gassed, but they're the best guys I have out there. So we gotta keep them in the game to get a stop. And lo and behold, guys don't have the energy. So I mean, having a million different guys in any group, I think is, as long as you know how to use them well, which I think Corey Hedman and this coaching staff, this defensive coaching staff will know how to use the talent that's in there. I think we all kind of believe. I mean, I think that's a big thing about the season. Can Corey Hedman kind of make this defense great? And I think he will. I think we're all in agreement that he will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will.
Do we want to talk special teams? I don't. I mean, I'm not really prepared to talk special teams today.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
But yeah, I think what big question that we'll answer another episode when we are more prepared is how Miami will kind of refresh the loss of Andre Borregales. I mean, big leg guy who you knew can rely on. You knew you could rely on to make kicks. I think Miami brought in a transfer kicker, I believe, Bert Auburn.
Yep.
Yeah, Bert Auburn. They brought in. But I think we'll get more into that room another day.
Definitely some new additions in the punt return room. There are a lot of return guys that we have.
Yeah,
I think it's way better than last year. And we had Ray handling it.
Yeah, he's gonna be back there.
Keontae Scott, I believe Keontae Scott, bringing up him from Auburn again, was top 10 in punt returns, like average per punt return last year, which very valuable in the special teams game. We'll see how that room kind of develops and who they decide to go with there. But
I think Tony Johnson as well.
Gotcha, Tony Johnson,
another guy that is big in the returns. So I mean, I think it's we'll talk more late another time. But I do like where they're at in the special teams unit. Hopefully, it's better than it was last season. It's gonna hurt. I think everyone knows how awesome Andy was. So you're hoping that wherever he goes to next, whoever we have with Bert Auburn there, if he can be anywhere as decent as him, you'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, exactly. I think just consistency, a guy you can rely on, is the the saying, college kickers miss. You can't rely on college kickers or whatever the saying is. I'm blanking on it for some reason.
It's college kickers.
It's literally just college kickers. Like it's tough to find a guy who you can rely on consistently. And so for now, I think fingers crossed that Bert Auburn's that guy. We'll see what Miami does in the future of their recruits in that kicking room.
I think we missed this, but Falconer again. Thank you for the 305.
True, we did miss it.
Yes, no loss to UF or Notre Dame,
especially UF.
That's the goal.
No.
Sorry,
George.
Florida Cup again. You want that Florida Cup. You want UF. You want FSU. You want to win your state. I always think that if you win your state, you'll get at least a little bit of something from a recruiter too. That's like, hey, these guys keep winning the state. Could give me some reason to go there if they're not paying me the money. I know NIL is number one, but that's something that could factor into it. It could. Come here. We got 8 home games this year. Come on.
Yeah, come on. In Hard Rock.
The crowd you're expecting,
especially when it's packed.
Yeah.
Like, so look, I think huge games, especially the in-state ones. Notre Dame, it's one of those games where like it's the beginning of the season, so like it's fine to a degree if you lose it, but also there's history there. Crooks versus Convicts versus Catholics.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Catholics. Like you want to win that game.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where it's like the beginning of the season, brand new team, not in moving pieces. You're fine you're fine to a degree if you lose it. UF can't lose that one.
Nope.
Can't lose it.
No.
Sorry, George. I know you're in the comments with DJ Lagway stuff, but we can't
He's a
lose.
diehard Florida fan, huh?
Yeah, we got a George, big Florida fan apparently. He's always
as we know, as you'll know later on, Alan, you're gonna see George quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
man.
I know about 100 comments I think tonight. Shout out to you. He was fighting for his life earlier with the DJ Lagway stuff. I gotta he fights hard for his guys. Oh
yeah, thank you again, Falconer.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. There you go.
Shout out Mike Chrissy. That's a poll.
Yeah, it's a deep poll.
That is a poll. Sorry, I'm double checking my fault.
Me and Shay were not allowed.
We were not prepared. We were not allowed. Oh my! Look, brother looks like a dog. Big time punter. During the 90s. Okay. Look at that. What is that? 40 yards per part. Oh. Shout out Mike Chrissy. Mike Chrissy, if you're out there somewhere, salute to you.
We got anything else or what? Oh, sick. Wait.
Oh, that's why he's a frat brother of yours.
Got you.
Cool. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Shout out. Tell if you ever see him. I don't know. Shout out to him. Yeah, but I think that's it. I think that's all we got for tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
But make sure to catch Alan tomorrow, Tuesday. Alan, what time are you going live?
I'll let you guys know. We're probably not gonna shoot it tomorrow. We're gonna go next week. We're gonna start next week.
Okay.
Yeah, next week. Yeah.
Look out for next Tuesday. Look out for the radio show. I mean, the call-in show. I think we're starting
Thursday.
Thursday starts the call-in show. So look out for those two things right there.
Alan you'll be the head of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
so if y'all got questions, y'all want to call in and y'all want to talk to one of us. Y'all, George, if you want to rant about the Gators,
I can go with them all day.
Feel free. Thursday, call in. As many people want to come talk, we can talk Canes football, or in case of George, Canes football versus Florida. Plenty to talk about right there. So, but for now, I think that's it from all of us. Appreciate having you on, Alan, for the first episode. Hopefully many more.
For sure. Appreciate y'all having me.
Of course, man. Good luck with everything. Welcome to the family.
And let's do it.
Thank you guys for another great show.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yep. Good night.
Yes, Falconer. He knows. Hit the like.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Yep. All right.